While headlines scream about deportations and border crackdowns, some countries remain untouched, not because their citizens never overstay, but because America simply can't afford to lose them. These immigrants power tech, staff hospitals, and maintain key alliances. Quietly, they're too valuable to remove. In 2025, these are the 10 Asian countries whose citizens will never be deported from America. And the reasons go far deeper than law. Number 10. Nepal. Nepal rarely makes headlines in American politics, and that's exactly why it flies under the radar. With tens of thousands of Nepali immigrants working in caregiving, healthcare, hospitality, and long-term care, there is little political will to deport them. Many arrived on temporary visas, some overstayed, but most have blended so seamlessly into the American workforce that removing them would create an immediate labor shortage, especially in elderly care and hospitals. Here's the real twist. Nepali workers are statistically among the least likely to be involved in crime or public disorder. They stay out of the spotlight and hold up parts of the economy most Americans never even notice. Border Patrol doesn't mention Nepal. Politicians don't raise alarms about Nepali overstays because doing so would expose just how dependent America has become on these invisible workers. Number 9. Malaysia. Malaysia doesn't send massive waves of migrants, but those who do arrive often come through higher education, technology, and professional sectors, and that's why they aren't going anywhere. They're low risk, high skill, and politically invisible. Most Malaysian immigrants come on student or H-1B visas, typically pursuing STEM degrees. From there, they transition into roles in software engineering, biotech, and research. They don't overstay in large numbers, they don't draw media heat, and Malaysia holds geopolitical value as a moderate, economically stable, Muslim-majority ally in Southeast Asia. Deporting its citizens would make zero strategic sense. In fact, American universities welcome their tuition. Tech firms want their skills, and politicians, they quietly approve. Number 8. South Korea. South Korea is more than just a US ally. It's a military partner, a trade engine, and a cultural powerhouse. In 2025, Korean nationals enjoy one of the most stable immigration profiles in America. Deport them? Unthinkable. There are over 200,000 South Koreans living legally in the US, many on student, work, or family visas. They're deeply embedded in technology, education, and small businesses, especially in cities like Los Angeles, New York, and Atlanta. Korean-run bakeries, dry cleaners, and skincare shops aren't just businesses. They're urban staples. Then there's the foreign policy layer. The US military relies on Seoul. South Korea hosts tens of thousands of American troops. Deporting Koreans would risk a diplomatic rift Washington cannot afford. And add in the soft power of K-pop, K-dramas, and tech brands, and the image is clear. Koreans in America aren't met with suspicion. They're met with admiration. Number 7, Bangladesh. Bangladesh often goes unnoticed in the immigration debate, but that invisibility, combined with economic necessity, has made Bangladeshis nearly untouchable. There are over 300,000 Bangladeshis in the US, mostly in New York, New Jersey, and Michigan. They power food delivery, rideshare, warehouses, and construction, quietly keeping the service economy afloat. Many arrive legally, via family-sponsored visas or asylum. Even the undocumented are often ignored by enforcement. Why? Because removing them would create chaos in industries already starved for labor. Diplomatically, Bangladesh has a neutral relationship with the US. No war, no sanctions, no pressure. That means no crackdown. Number 6, Thailand. Thailand may be famous for its tourism and temples, but Thai immigrants have become a permanent part of American life. There are fewer than 300,000 Thai nationals in the US, a small but tightly integrated community. Many came through marriage, family ties, or work in healthcare, wellness, and hospitality. Thai massage clinics, nail salons, and restaurants aren't just cultural imports. They are economic anchors, especially in California, Texas, and Florida. Deporting them would leave visible holes in entire neighborhoods. And politically, Thailand poses no threat. No border rush, no headlines, no controversy. And that makes them safe. Number 5, Indonesia. Indonesia is the world's 4th most populous country. Yet in the US, its immigrant community is modest, discreet, and deeply strategic. Fewer than 200,000 Indonesians live in the US, many on student visas, religious worker permits, or skilled labor programs. Indonesian Christians have received asylum over the years, forming communities in LA, New York, and Philadelphia. But the bigger reason? Strategy. Indonesia is a pillar in America's Indo-Pacific plan, a massive democracy and a counterbalance to China. Deporting Indonesians would send the wrong message. Number 4, Japan. Japan isn't just an ally, it's a power partner. And in 2025, that alliance includes immigration immunity. Roughly 400,000 Japanese citizens live in the US, mostly in Los Angeles, Honolulu, San Francisco, and New York. They are students, corporate employees, and professionals in finance, tech, and education. They don't make headlines. They don't cause friction. Japan's soft power is undeniable, from anime and architecture to automotive innovation. And its diplomatic relationship with Washington? Practically flawless. Through mutual respect and a long-standing visa waiver program, Japanese nationals are treated not as outsiders, but as partners. Tag Vietnam. The story of Vietnam and the United States is one of war turned into partnership and tragedy reshaped into trust. Only a few decades ago, these two nations were bitter enemies, locked in one of the most devastating conflicts of the 20th century. But what followed was one of the most remarkable turnarounds in global relations. After the fall of Saigon in 1975, hundreds of thousands of Vietnamese refugees fled communism and sought safety across the Pacific. America opened its doors. Reluctantly at first, then more openly. These refugees didn't just arrive, they rebuilt. Today, more than 1.3 million Vietnamese Americans live in the United States, with thriving communities in California, Texas, Louisiana, and Virginia. They transformed entire neighborhoods. Little Saigon in Orange County, California, for example, became a symbol of resilience and renewal. What were once refugee enclaves have evolved into cultural landmarks, filled with pho restaurants, family-run clinics, law firms, and tech startups. Vietnamese Americans now rank among the highest-earning and most educated Asian American subgroups. Their children fill top universities. Their businesses power local economies. Their votes matter in swing states. In civic life, they are mayors, judges, state representatives, and entrepreneurs. They've gone from fleeing political systems to influencing them. Yet despite their success, the community carries a quiet legacy of trauma, war wounds, family separations, resettlement struggles, which has fostered deep loyalty to the U.S. and strong patriotism. From an international standpoint, Vietnam is now a strategic partner to Washington. The U.S. Navy docks in Da Nang. Trade has boomed. American companies see Vietnam as a key supply chain hub, especially as tensions with China rise. To deport Vietnamese immigrants would mean more than removing workers. It would mean ripping apart families, alienating loyal voters, and disrupting critical U.S.-Asia diplomacy. These immigrants and their children aren't just surviving in America, they're shaping it, quietly, proudly, and permanently. Philippines. No Asian nation is more deeply interwoven with the United States than the Philippines. This isn't just a story of migration, it's a story of shared history, sacrifice, and family. With over 4 million Filipino Americans, they make up one of the largest Asian communities in the country. You'll find them everywhere, from bustling cities like Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago, to small towns across Hawaii, Nevada. But if you really want to understand their impact, go to any hospital. Step into any care facility. 1 in every 5 foreign-born nurses in America is Filipino. During the COVID-19 pandemic, thousands of Filipino nurses were on the front lines, serving, saving lives, and too often, losing their own. They didn't just serve, they gave everything. And America remembers. This bond goes far beyond labor. It's rooted in centuries of connection, a shared colonial past, a military alliance, and a cultural closeness unmatched by any other Asian nation. Filipinos serve in the U.S. military. They speak fluent English, attend American schools, and embrace American values. Many grew up watching the same TV shows, eating the same food, singing the same songs. When they arrive, they don't just adapt. Statistically, they are among the most law-abiding, least likely to overstay, and lowest in deportation risk. They build churches, schools, businesses, and vibrant communities. They are not seen as foreigners. They're seen as family. And in the immigration debate, that distinction matters because deporting Filipino nationals wouldn't just be politically unpopular or economically harmful, it would feel morally wrong. The Philippines and America are bound not just by policy, but by people. And in 2025, that bond is stronger than ever.
Number 1. India. In 2025, no Asian country holds more influence in American immigration, technology, and geopolitics than India. More than 4.5 million Indian Americans now call the U.S. home, forming powerhouse communities in California, Texas, New Jersey, Illinois, and beyond. These aren't just large numbers, they're transformational ones. Indians are the backbone of the American tech industry, accounting for a staggering 70% of all H-1B skilled worker visas. They don't just participate in the tech economy, they drive it. From boardrooms at Google and Microsoft to breakthrough innovations in AI, biotech, and fintech, Indian talent is not a bonus, it's the foundation. Deporting them? That would be like shutting down Silicon Valley. The entire ecosystem would collapse. But it's not just about the workforce, it's about political power. Indian Americans are now one of the wealthiest, most educated, and fastest growing voting blocs in the nation. Their voices are courted by both parties. No administration wants to lose their support. Then there's the global stage. India is a nuclear power, a defense partner, and a key counterbalance to China. Washington needs Delhi, and that means preserving the human bridge that connects both nations. Indian immigrants come on student visas, work permits, or through family reunification. They open startups, teach in universities, lead in medicine, and build multi-generational households that integrate deeply into American life. In every measure that matters, education, income, innovation, and integration, Indian Americans are at the forefront. They're not just here to stay, they're here to lead.